Hello. Um, my research shows that interracial relationships, which are public, okay, uh, don't survive. They're very unhealthy. I don't mean they break up. I mean people die. This is the evidence that I found. Um, Dolly Parton, Oprah Winfrey. Very, very private relationships. I had a neighbor. One was a quarter Native American, one was a quarter African American. It was a very private part of the neighborhood. Uh, Vice President Harris, California, New York air quality, to say any survivors, period. Um, that's the equation. Okay, that is. And my private neighbors and I were good friends. It was great. Okay, I went there intentionally, regularly. It was a safe place. My immediate neighborhood was. We lived next door to a little Mexican village. I was really good friends with them as well. Perhaps more so because more people in the neighborhood. Well, my brother and I basically, and one other neighbor knew them well. But my Native American neighbor, who was also secretly Jewish, growing up in New Mexico, he said there was a difference between different tribes and some of those places. You didn't go there, okay? Look at Mexico. There ain't no Americans there. They go there to die. There's no Americans actually living there. There's no George Washington, a guy with a bunch of daughters. Oh, hunky dory, okay? And I meant to say, oh, hunky dory, of course, like a Joan Rivers, George Michael's public conversation. Okay, you could probably imagine it. Thomas Jefferson has esteemed conditioning in France, in Paris, and then came back to America to live a private life. Okay, an inventor indeed, not stirring up scandal, but that's the little brother in America with a big sister. They can, do the show and then lay low because their life is hunky dory. That's the truth, okay? And privacy is part of that survival, okay? I thought my cousin was 17 years old when he killed himself. I don't know if what exactly to inspired him right after Princess Diana died, but I myself was desperately trying to be an eastward child because I know that is the winning move, that virtually all people had that experience when they were young, and it was utterly difficult and utterly confusing for me or George Washington to even attempt that. Just the thought of it is can be utterly polarizing if you don't have this lucky childhood smile on your face when you show up. That's people are like, they're purely the luck of money. That's the root of all stupid, basically, okay? Scandal is a weapon, okay? Science is something else. To quantify that is very difficult. I could not do any of it in America. I had to come to Europe. I'm exhausted now. And, I try to help people get it right. Okay, that's but if it's a scandal, that's impossible. There's only, the world to be damaged because of our childhood derangement. Okay, yeah, it's all over the place. I look at Google Discovery and my mind is corkscrewing through the possible meaning of what I'm seeing, and I don't want to know. It's all this scandal purely. Okay, the evidence the story and the evidence of the century means nothing to Scandal. They're like trying to think out how we can scapegoat the entire thing. That is the reality. That's exhausting, okay? And science is detailed. It's very sensitive. And like I said, I couldn't do it in America. I could, on the very far East Coast, I got hints because there are actually pleasant people over there. And I generally like the entire population over there. I have my, both, the historical colonial population, and my time in Florida was good and friendly and accommodating, but it was not public. Okay, I had other trials with some nefarious types, and I didn't mention this, the KSBW thing. So it's not just the current wildfires, but there was this. I mentioned it a bunch of times about these. There's a woman whose children were tortured and killed by herself and her husband. She had a little brother, this woman, and he started this massive wildfire, some deranged thing. And this is after public scandal. People start thinking, oh, what can I do next to really impress the media, because, oh, I'm so fancy-dancy. Okay, and I'm sure that Hillary Clinton wishes that if there was any extraterrestrials there, that they were actually in an esteemed place, okay, esteemed situation. Because if they're not criminals, okay, then you want, if they're actually scholastic visitors, then if you don't accommodate them, you're just saying, oh no, we're just trying to scapegoat this. We don't want any science, we just want scapegoats. Science makes it happen. And when I complete a concept, and I think a lot of people do, theories, then I like to perform, okay? But again, it wasn't really possible in America to do any of that. Poverty had a major element in that. Not everyone, I'm like one of the rare cases that suffers poverty because of my Kurt Cobain. Billie Eilish, right? Srebrenica, what's next? Who knows? I'm telling you that global conflicts always feed upon excuses, as well as the fires. And that's just another form of terrorism, whether it's neglect or pure scandal. And I just try to find people who care. I don't want to, have a dysfunctional conversation, let alone a conversation, period. And I don't know. Okay, I'm only here to help people. The conversation is purely a weapon, okay? That is the absolute truth. Private communities, those are safe communities. If you actually care about that, or your friends, or anything, then understand that, okay? Because I can help make the magic in private. Okay, and it wasn't in America. My own family, they all systematically would contradict or misquote me, and I had to do hardcore science, and only the experts really understand it. Everyone else is, kind of like, oh, but what about those, disasters? I don't know what they're looking for. Some sort of clown activity. Okay, I like humor, but I like respect more. And And no matter what I do, I can't find it, okay? I give the most important information ever, and what do you get? Questions, because people are being weaponized, for sure.